The soft hum of the engines filled the cabin as passengers boarded Flight 237. Among them was Marcus Williams, a calm and confident man in his mid-40s. He quietly took his seat in first class, seat 2A, dressed neatly in a tailored suit. For him, this was just another trip, nothing unusual. But little did Marcus know that this flight would soon turn into a stage where prejudice, truth, and justice would collide in front of hundreds of witnesses. Flight attendant Jessica approached Marcus with a stiff expression. Instead of the usual warm welcome, her eyes carried suspicion. "Excuse me, sir," she said sharply. "Are you sure you're in the right seat? First class is reserved for premium passengers. I'll need to see your boarding pass again." Marcus calmly handed her the pass. She scanned it, her brows furrowed, and then muttered under her breath, "This must be a mistake. Or fraud." Her words weren't quiet enough. Passengers nearby glanced over, whispers spreading quickly. Jessica called the captain, Morrison, who marched over with authority. "Sir, we've had issues with imposters before," Morrison said. "We'll need additional identification." Marcus replied firmly but politely, "I've already provided my boarding pass." "Isn't that enough?" Jessica crossed her arms. "Not this time. Show us ID, or you'll have to leave the plane." The situation escalated quickly. Several passengers began recording the incident on their phones, live streaming it to social media. The words fraud, imposter, and he doesn't belong here echoed through the cabin. Marcus took a deep breath, choosing calm over anger. "You're treating me like a criminal for sitting in the seat I paid for," he said. "This is not about procedure." "This is about prejudice," Jessica scoffed. "We follow the same rules for everyone." But Marcus's calm demeanor only seemed to irritate them further. Captain Morrison called for airport security, who boarded the plane and stood by, watching carefully. The tension was unbearable. Passengers whispered, "What if he really doesn't belong here? Why are they targeting him?" Yet Marcus sat still, his voice steady. "I know my rights. You're not only humiliating me, you're exposing this airline to something far worse." The suspense thickened. Who exactly was this man? Why wasn't he panicking? Finally, Marcus stood up. He reached calmly into his briefcase and pulled out an official document. Handing it to Captain Morrison, he said, "Since my identity is in question, allow me to clarify. My name is Marcus Williams, and I am the chairman of the board of directors of Southwest Airlines." The cabin fell silent. Jessica's confident smirk vanished. Morrison's face turned pale. Passengers gasped, realizing they had been watching something far bigger than a seat dispute. Marcus continued, his voice sharp yet controlled. "I helped shape this airline. I oversee the very policies you claim to follow. And yet, here I am, treated as a fraud in front of dozens of witnesses because of assumptions you made the moment you saw me." The live streams exploded. Viewers flooded comments with outrage. News outlets picked it up within hours. By the time the flight landed, Marcus's story had already become a national headline. The incident was labeled "Discrimination in the Skies." Southwest Airlines faced a storm of backlash. They had no choice but to issue a public apology and launch a nationwide campaign promoting anti-discrimination training. Jessica and Captain Morrison were forced to issue tearful apologies on camera, admitting their mistakes. But for Marcus, the humiliation had already turned into something bigger, a movement. He spoke to the media, not with anger but with purpose. "This isn't just about me. This is about every person who has been judged unfairly before they even had a chance to prove who they are. If this can happen to the chairman of the board, imagine what happens to those without power or voice." His words struck deep. The story became a symbol of change, proof that prejudice could be challenged, and that dignity must never be compromised. Never judge a person by assumptions. The stranger you look down upon today might be the very one holding the keys to your future.